the Lamborghini Aventador. It was the most successful of Lamborghini's V12 flagship supercars, superseding the Murcielago, Diablo, Countach and the Miura. These are some of the most legendary cars to grace the planet, and Lamborghini really take their time with them, with production runs lasting around a decade on each flagship V12. So with this in mind, it's of paramount importance that the new Aventador replacement isn't just a cool supercar, but a vehicle capable of being the world's flagship poster car for more than 10 years. And today, we're going to get a better look at it. Let's get straight into the latest details revealed about Sant'Agata's next raging bull. The Lamborghini V12 design formula is simple. Draw one sweeping line that goes from the car's nose all the way to its rear wing, stick some vents and intakes that look like missile launchers on it, and give it angles sharp enough to slice through a 10-year-old block of cheese. And looking at the new spy shots of this car, it appears to have all bases covered. One notable thing about this car's design is the inspiration it appears to take from previous models, and we'll touch upon that quite a lot here. The front of this car has a bit of Sian in the lower section of the front bumper structure, and also appears to have a lot of inspiration from the new generation Huracan Super Trofeo, which has a radically redesigned front bumper. The lights are likely to be sleek and feature this sort of Y design that has come so synonymous with Lambos to the left of these lights. Then the bonnet seems to be much more aggressive than any Aventador, with two clear vents in it, reminiscent of the Super Trofeo cars like the Huracan Super Trofeo, SCV12 and SC18. The roof is something that we have not seen before. Traditionally, Lambo roofs are very smooth and relatively flat, but this one has two great big humps, perhaps so that tall people like Ed Bolian no longer have to slouch and live a life with their chiropractor on speed dial to fit in the Lamborghini.
And I literally just crawl out of the car, go to bed, and I'm there for a couple days. I end up having to go to the doctor, get muscle relaxers and pain medicine and all this.
On the side profile, we see what I feel is a real hodgepodge of Lamborghini styling cues in recent years. This vent area behind the front wheel arch is noticeably similar to the Centenario, and this upper section of the front window with the vent is almost a picture-perfect replication of the Huracan. Another thing similar to the Centenario is the two giant slats in the car's main side vent, which is reminiscent of the 5 slats in the Centenario. However, this shape of this vent is very different to almost anything we've ever seen from Lamborghini. I have a feeling that they are trying to take inspiration from the Countach LP400's wheel arch design with this line, and maybe even some Huracan Super Trofeo again, but interestingly to me, and please don't hate me for this line shares the most in common with the side vent design of the C8 Corvette. Kind of bizarre, but I guess it's great news for C8 Corvette owners. Signet GP on Instagram has pointed out that it appears to be a sort of toned down and reshaped version of the Sian's side profile, and I can definitely see that, and that's probably what Lamborghini are actually going for. The back of the Aventador replacement is very, very Centenario. Those Y-shaped rear lights and the rear wheel arch designs are almost carbon copies of the limited edition Lamborghini's design, whilst the diffuser holds itself closest to the SVJ in terms of its design and lacks the razor-sharp knifeness of the Centenario's rear diffuser blades. Of course, those gigantic rear exhausts are the first big thing that hit you when you look at the rear bumper of this car versus previous Lambos, especially since the placement is right between the lights like a McLaren 650S Can-Am. One thing I should say is that it's entirely possible that this isn't going to be the final exhaust design, as others have been spotted, and it has been said that all of Lamborghini's exhaust will be hexagonal from this point forward. Then we've got the wing, which appears to morph around the exhaust and also appears to have been stolen from an F-22 Raptor fighter jet. In these photos, the rear end also appears to have a massive hole, but this isn't a new Lamborghini Ute design. It probably just means that they didn't put the proper rear engine cover on so that they can test out all sorts of mechanisms using very high-tech engineering equipment. That's far above my pay grade. And so, that's a look at the design of the new 2023 Lamborghini Aventador replacement, and hopefully in seeing how these bits of styling have worked in other Lambos, you'll have a better idea in your mind as to what this new era of Lamborghini V12 will look like. But that's not all. I want to briefly touch upon the technical specifications of this Lamborghini, namely that V12. It is likely that this V12 will not be a completely different design from the power plant in the Aventador, which was codenamed the L539 V12. This engine was the first brand new Lamborghini V12 developed from the ground up in almost 50 years, as the previous Bizzarini V12 was put in all Lambos in previous iterations right up to the Murcielago. So I see it as extremely unlikely that the V12 itself will see a significant change, especially with the seemingly unfortunate future of gas-guzzling engines. I know, cry. All the cries. However, this V12 will now have hybrid assist, just like the Sian, which appears to have been a test bed for this technology. But whilst the Sian had around 800 horsepower, there are rumours that this car will reach up to the 1000 horsepower mark, stacking it up as a competitor to the Ferrari SF90 Stradale. This hybrid drivetrain integrates something called supercapacitors, which isn't from Back to the Future. It's something that helps to store as much as 100 times more energy than normal hybrid drivetrains. This also assists with filling the torque gap as the transmission shifts through gears. And on the topic of that transmission, it's looking very likely that we'll actually see a dual clutch transmission in a Lamborghini V12. Finally! This is great news for a large portion of supercar owners that were put off the Aventador due to its clunky single clutch 7-speed box that give whiplash to long-term users of it. Although, call me crazy, I always thought that sounded like a kind of cool part of the experience. I don't know what that says about me. Guys, don't forget to subscribe if Lamborghini V12s are your kind of thing. I know they're my kind of thing, so I really would love to create some more content on it, especially if you guys have noticed some things that I've maybe missed about the car that you want me to talk about, or any other cars kind of in the same segment as the new Aventador. But other than that, thank you so much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much to my long-term viewers. It's great to have you back on the channel. Let's keep growing this channel this year. I've nothing else to say. Have a good day, guys. Take care.